Let's hear it now from Kyle Shanahan. This is the 49ers head coach talking about Brock Purdy's injury. Take a listen.
Did you see Brock Purdy make progress this week?
Yeah, a lot of progress. I thought he had a good week. Hopefully we can get him up for the game.
We'll go into that decision, Kyle.
Just see how he does tomorrow. Just talking to him. I think it's highly unlikely that he'll start, but just trying to see where he's at to see if he could be a 2 or an emergency 3.
Is it the kind of injury that he could make worse if he were to play?
That's what we want to make sure not of. Yeah, if it's certain parts haven't got there fully, then you can. So that's what we're trying to base off of, which probably won't know for sure till Sunday on that, but that's why I think it's highly unlikely he'd be out there as a starter.
Kyle, who's next man up behind Colby?
Be a surprise for everyone. But it could be Drew Moss, it could be Zakel. Could have been Spencer, but we went down, so some more guys could probably mention, but most likely one of those 2.
Kyle, what's the distinction between Brock not starting, but if he's a backup, obviously he could play. So I guess what's the distinction that you're making between those roles?
Just things that he would be limited in. So I think there's certain things that he could do, maybe certain things he couldn't. So we're trying to decide if he could do that, and when you won't know that till Sunday, you don't get to practice in any other area. Don't want to force it on Sunday, but don't mind finding out if you have to.
Have you learned he's pretty, in previous times when he might go and might play, that he's been pretty honest with you about going or not going?
Brock pushes himself to go as hard as anyone I've been around, but he's very level-headed in terms of being realistic, and he doesn't just talk with his heart. He works with his heart, but he talks with his mind and lets us really know what the chances are of it, and if he can't do it, he'll let you know.
All right, that's the coach. That's Kyle Shanahan. B, I'm going to start with you. We know it's Mac Jones. What is the key for Mac to be efficient this Sunday against the Cardinals, understanding that the run game hasn't been efficient for the 49ers and that Arizona does have one of the best defenses against the run so far this season?
Yeah, he's going to have to loosen up the defense like he did last week against New Orleans with the pass, right? And look, for the most part, he was efficient at the beginning of the game. 0 for 3. He went on a heater. 15 of his next 19 were completed. But one issue that he may have to clean up this week against Arizona is holding on to the ball too long. He got in trouble at times in New Orleans holding on to the ball too long, and that caused a fumble on one possession, which the Niners defense was able to keep the Saints out of the end zone and keep them off the scoreboard for that point. But don't hold on to the ball too long. Be decisive, because he may not have Juwan Jennings on Sunday, and just keep from turning the ball over. If it's not there, don't force it. Don't force it into triple coverage. Don't force it into double coverage, and just be efficient and be decisive. But you don't want to turn the ball over against this defense with Arizona, because it give it back to Kyler Murray. We know how difficult he could be on the offensive end. So continue to do some of the things you did last week, but I would focus on holding on to the ball. Don't hold on to the ball too long like he did last week in New Orleans at times.
Matt, and we do understand that the Cardinals come into Levi Stadium with a lot of injuries, specifically in their secondary, too. So this is advantage Mac Jones and the passing game as well for the 49ers.
Yeah, and one of the things that Kyle Shanahan said in there about Connor Colby. So Connor Colby, 49ers left guard, who was going to be starting and still could in front of Ben Barch, and Ben Barch goes on IR. So he had a groin injury, and he's questionable for this game as well. So, it's Brock Purdy is questionable, Juwan Jennings is questionable with the ankle and the shoulder injury, and now Connor Colby, and the two guys that the 49ers have ruled out, Spencer Burford with the knee. So that kind of whittles away at the 49ers depth on the offensive line, and also Jordan Watkins, a wide receiver, who was in line to be a guy who would suit up for the first time if Jennings wasn't available. So there are a lot of moving parts with the 49ers. And just going back to, the quarterback situation, Kyle Shanahan said that it's going to be determined whether Brock Purdy suits up as the second string quarterback, the third string quarterback, or not at all. And what has to happen here with the 49ers, it's basically the Brock Purdy rule, right? From the 2022 NFC Championship game, where teams can now suit up three quarterbacks, and that third doesn't count against the 48-man game day roster. But in order for the 49ers to have three quarterbacks in uniform for this game, they would have to move Adrian Martinez from the practice squad to the 53-man roster. So 49ers have some decisions to make on Saturday what they want to do at the quarterback spot.